What were your thoughts on the first game action for Kyle Allen and how he did?
I thought he did pretty well. We went out that first drive, and he executed it pretty cleanly until that 3rd down and 2 call. We did a play action pass, and he got caught in a bad situation, and he just needs to be a little bit smarter with the ball and just chalk up his loss and throw it away. But, after that, I thought he came out and he consistently ran the offense pretty well. For your first time going out in a crowd like that, I thought he played pretty consistently, played pretty well.
Middle right, Sam.
Kenny mentioned that you guys wanted to take some more shots downfield. How do you feel he did in that area, and what other areas did you see him progress from game 1 to game 2?
I thought he was not as accurate with those intermediate to deep balls as what he should be. But, going into that game, I wanted to, kind of break some tendencies and take some shots downfield with it. And, we ended up taking a lot, and I thought he did all right with it. We hit some at times, but, definitely when you take that many shots, it's going to change your thinking for your second down call. If you do it on first down or what, it just changes up the rhythm of your offense. And I just kind of wanted to see how they had handled adversity. But, he would throw an incompletion, and then he'd come back and he'd answer with it pretty cleanly. But, I definitely think that taking shots downfield, we need to keep getting some more work on.
Standing in the back.
Coach, someone mentioned earlier that James White came out of nowhere in last game, and we saw a little glimpse of him from fall camp. What have you seen from him?
Definitely. That's another guy that we're very pleased with and getting that game time, atmosphere and just go out there and get some playing time. And I thought he rose to the occasion. He got some good touches. I thought we went to him on a couple 3rd down and shorts in that heavy set we got, and he was getting downhill, getting 17 and 20-yard gains off of it, which I was very pleased with James. And I definitely think down the future, and maybe even this year, you can utilize him in certain situations, but I definitely think he's going to be a really good back in the future.
Here in front, Gabe.
Are you kind of getting the sense that Speedy's just on the verge of exploding here pretty soon?
Yeah, because he hasn't reached the end zone yet. I think he is. We started off the game with that post play to him because we wanted to take a shot and just see how he would react. He did an unbelievable move. He did a double move, and he was wide open, and Kenny underthrew him a bit. But, I definitely think Speedy's going to find many opportunities in the end zone, and his time's going to come. The kid, he gets better each day, and I think he's a very explosive player, and you're going to see some pretty good plays made by him throughout the future.
Like here in front, Brent.
I think one of the things that maybe surprised some people a little bit, and of course y'all didn't surprise y'all, but just how strong Kyle Allen's arm is. Could you just speak to that and just what a good arm he has?
Definitely, yeah. Kyle has one of the strongest arms I've been around. It comes out clean, it comes out spinning, and that was one of the emphasis too. Is we knew Kyle would be playing in this game, and we wanted to kind of showcase his arm a little bit and see if he was capable of taking those shots downfield. And I thought he did a great job with that as well. And I thought he overthrew one of them, but that was the first play of the game. I gave both the quarterbacks an opportunity to go deep on their first play in the game, and I think Kyle he's going to continually keep getting better. He can make all the throws, and it can be pretty impressive at times where the kid can sit back in the pocket and he can make those field throws, which he did a couple times out there. But yeah, the kid does have a great arm. It's fun. You look at the quarterbacks in that room and you'd be like, hey, we're going deep the first player in the game. It kind of brings some excitement in there, and know that we're still going to be out there attacking and we're trying to score as many points as we possibly can.
Here on the right, Christy.
Another quarterback question. How valuable is it to have two guys that are both capable of running your offense and have done such a good job, I guess, with the competition to get the job? You can rely on both of them.
Yeah, definitely. That's huge. That's a great situation to be in because, if say something does happen to Kenny, I feel very comfortable with Kyle going in there and continuing to run the offense the way it's going right now, and that's very comforting from a play calling standpoint as well, that you don't have to scratch out half of your playbook or your game plan for that week. You can just keep on operating and feel comfortable with Kyle in the game.
Here in front, Gabe.
Could you speak to how the O-line's playing? Someone says he wants a nickel and not 5 pennies. You've got a sixth guy that might be coming back. How do you figure all that out with as good as they're playing?
I've thought the O-line I thought they've done great the first two games. The continuity that they have, and you know, I think they've done a great job of just blocking anything. You know, definitely with Jarvis, with the opportunity for him playing this week, it definitely is going to create more competition. I think these guys are going to even elevate their play even more. But you know, that's definitely a good problem to have. I've been in worse situations like that where you don't have 5 offensive linemen. But if you're saying that you got 6 that consistently can play at this level, I think that just shows where Coach Anderson's got these kids going and how he's been recruiting that offensive line.
Anything else for Coach Spavital here in front, Brent?
You're 29, right?
Yes.
How does it make you feel that your name is already popping up in some searches, and especially a search that's with an opponent y'all have coming up? And I guess I'll follow that up by asking, have you heard from them?
That just shows that we're doing our job right here. You know, it's only week 2. We've only played 2 games. Like I thought that normally happens at the end of the season, but you know, yeah, it is definitely it's an honor to be mentioned in that group. But you know, I'm not even worrying about that right now. It's more focused on keeping this offense going in the direction that it should be going, because you know we're going into our 3rd game. We haven't even really started conference play.
We'll finish up with your Olin in the middle.
Hi, Jake. Y'all, your receivers have been playing really well. We expected so much from Ricky and Malcolm already back, but Ed Pope seems like he's kind of elevated his role. And how was he able to find his place in this offense?
Definitely. I think Pope plays with the most energy out of anybody out there. And as you watch him, he loves to play the game. And, you know, he's blocking hard. He's running his routes hard. He's celebrating. He's just competing the whole time. And definitely that's a guy that we knew it was going to be pretty important at the receiver position this year because of the experience that he's had. You know, he's already had game time experience in previous years. And he definitely you got him and Speedy out there working at the X position, and I think it's a good mixture because Speedy is still, you know, working through some things and learning on the go, and Pope is a consistent guy that these quarterbacks can lean on at all times. But you know, I think that's just a great 1-2 punch out there with Pope and Speedy right now. They seem not to drop too many passes now, and I'm telling you, when the way we operate with the quarterbacks is they're going to throw to the guys that they feel most comfortable with. And, you know, that first game, they threw it all over the place because they had comfort in all of them, you know. And when you get in games where teams are playing you man press and you're feeling uncomfortable with that kid, you'll see where the quarterbacks start leaning to. And I think Pope's been one of those guys lately.